What's up, y'all? FSGM here. Just gonna give you a reaction to the Warriors game in a second. But before any of y'all say anything, yes, I'm wearing the same shirt from yesterday. It's the weekend, so give your boy a break. Anyways, game four. Game four of the Warriors. Obviously didn't pull it out. They were close, but as I said yesterday in my intro video, I thought it was going to be a close game down the stretch, and the Warriors would end up winning it. However, obviously they didn't. Really, for me, there was probably two or three things that stuck out. One is, Jordan Poole didn't really have a great game. Obviously, he didn't shoot the ball well, and even though Curry went off in the fourth quarter, he didn't really have a good game. So anytime your two of your three best players obviously don't have a good game or a shooting game, it doesn't really work out very well. Especially Poole, I don't know, they gobbled him up pretty well today. And like I said earlier, Curry went off in the fourth, and he obviously put up great numbers. But it was one of those weird games where he had great numbers points wise, but he didn't really shoot the ball that well. And it was a weird game. And in all seriousness, I don't know what's going on with his free throw shooting, Curry, but the boy's been missing free throws. Like, I think they said, like, at least for me, it feels like 8 or 10 free throws this series. And like, he doesn't miss that many free throws in the whole season. So I don't know what's going on there, if it's the rims or who knows. It's just, as Shaq likes to say, we need to get those little boys out of here pretty soon. Hopefully, I think they'll win in Game 5. But as Shaq says, they need to take care of business and get those little boys out of here. Denver needs to go home. Anyways, look, they didn't play all that well, and yet they barely won, right? So that kind of gets back to what I mentioned earlier yesterday. I'll go into it now. Is about roster construction. Denver's a solid team. But obviously without Jamal Murray and Porter, it's their subs really had to kick in. And look, Barton did a heck of a job down the stretch, and their rookie, I'm drawing a blank on his name, but he had a really good game. And look, they're at home, right? So as most sports fans know, especially basketball fans, your role players are going to play better at home, right? And all that. And that was proven today. And look, the Warriors, at the end of the day, we almost won, with all that being said. So, it was a weird kind of funky game, right? It's like they were just kind of hanging around at 10 points, 8 points, and they just couldn't get over the hill, as Bob Fitzgerald likes to say, the Warriors announcer. I also thought, even though it was a 2-point swing, on my Twitter feed, I said, the normal 10 or less at halftime. But a real big important play was that the last or second last play of the first half, Jordan Poole turned it over, and it led to a layup, and it could have led to a fast break for the Warriors, and that would have kind of lessened it to 8 or 7. So it was a little bit of a funky play there. But look, all in all, the Warriors almost won, and like I said, they honestly played their C game. Excuse me, they played their C game. They really didn't have that great of a game, but that just tells you how good of a team they really are, because they played like, I'll use the C game. They played their C game, like I said, but they really didn't play that well, and yet they almost won. And it's been talked about plenty, but that out of bounds play that to Wiggins or whatever it was, Kerr already took responsibility for it, but I just thought that was a really weird play. Honestly, I was doing something in the other room, and I came out, and so I didn't really see how much time was left on the shot clock or anything like that. But that was just an awkward, strange play, and as Kerr already said, he would take that one back. But anyways, that was a really funky play. Another kind of important play that happened was that Wiggins put-back dunk, right? He went up one-handed, and that's a tough play to make for anybody. But, man, if he could have slammed that sucker home, I think that would have taken the wind out of the arena. But hey, look, it's 3-1. They're going back to back to the Bay. So they need to handle business and don't take anything for granted. Look, if there's a franchise that knows not to take anything for granted, it's them, given our history and all that. But yeah, I believe that they'll handle business on Wednesday, and hopefully Chase Center comes out and really gets on the Nuggets and really makes a difference. Which obviously I think they will. I think the Nuggets will be rattled Game 5 because I could just tell. And look, like I said at the beginning, you could just tell that Denver gave it all they had, and yet they barely won. So we'll see what happens in Game 5. But like I said, the Warriors will shoot better. It was a weird game. They'll shoot better, and they need to take better care of the ball and all that. And on a side note, obviously they started out really well, right? They came out on fire. They were moving the ball, making back cuts and all that, and then it just got really stagnant. Toward the middle of the first quarter, and just really on after the mid first quarter, they almost were in cement. They weren't moving, they weren't cutting. There were some questionable shot selections. Even though Clay had a great game and we all love Clay, there was one where he was at the top of the key, tried to do a crossover shot for three, and that's not really his game. His game is, he gets the shot and he shoots it, right? So that was kind of a funky play too. But look, it happens. So all in all, the Warriors played like crap, and yet they almost won. So look, as I said, to close this out, they'll be fine. They'll close it out in Game 5, trust me, they need to close it out in Game 5. I don't want to take this team in Denver for granted, and like I said, they won't. They'll handle business on Wednesday, and we'll get ready to move on. Anyways, that's just kind of my quick hit recap of the game. Yeah, and I also liked, on a quick side note, I like how Kerr let Kuminga play, and Kuminga brought some good minutes, and so he kind of supplemented him into the lineup to try and get some energy, because like I said, the game was just so stagnant and they were just stuck in cement. So anyways, as I said, that was just my quick reaction, and I'll be talking to you guys after Game 5 on Wednesday. So I'll do another video on Wednesday night, or Wednesday, shortly after the game, whatever it is. And like I said, I'll talk to you guys then. Take care.